Hello everybody. This is part 2 of the gross anatomy of the lungs. In this video we'll be talking about the root of the lungs. This is a very important question in your university examinations. The root of the lungs, also known as the hilum of the lung, it is basically a short broad pedicle which connects the medial surface of the lung to the mediastinum. It lies opposite to the T5, T6 and T7 thoracic vertebra. Now, you need to remember this diagram of the root of the lungs. This is the right hilum and this is the left hilum. Okay, to remember this, let us begin with the structures which are common to both. Okay, like the anterior pulmonary nerve plexus and the posterior pulmonary nerve plexus are common to both. Anterior lies, of course, anteriorly and posterior lies posteriorly. So you can remember that very easily. Other two structures that are common to both are superior pulmonary vein and the inferior pulmonary vein. As you can see, you'll find both of these structures here. Then the bronchopulmonary lymph nodes are also common to both. There is a right pulmonary artery and a left pulmonary artery. That is, pulmonary artery is also common to both the hila. Now, the difference arises in case of bronchus and bronchial artery. In right hilum, you'll find an eparterial bronchus and a hyparterial bronchus. Ep basically means above, hy basically means below. Okay, so the eparterial bronchus lies above the pulmonary artery and hyparterial bronchus lies below the pulmonary artery. So I've got two bronchus here, it is eparterial bronchus and hyparterial bronchus, and you have got one bronchial artery here, only one bronchial artery. Whereas in case of the left hila, it is just the opposite. You have got two bronchial arteries here and a single principal bronchus, that is a left principal bronchus. Okay, so that is how you remember it. So let us practice making the diagrams for the hilum of the lungs. It is very easy. So let us first begin with the structures which are common to both the hilum. First being the superior and the inferior pulmonary vein. We have the superior and the inferior pulmonary vein here. What else do we have? We have the anterior pulmonary nerve plexus, posterior pulmonary nerve plexus, the anterior pulmonary nerve plexus here and the posterior pulmonary nerve plexus here. Then we also have bronchopulmonary lymph nodes, on either side. We have the right pulmonary artery and the left pulmonary artery. Now here comes the difference. We have the eparterial bronchus here and the hyparterial bronchus here, but here we only have the left principal bronchus. Now if we talk about the bronchial artery, since there are two bronchi here, we'll have only one bronchial artery. Now since there is only one bronchus here, we'll have two bronchial arteries. So there you go, you have the diagram for the hilum of the lung. Now you might wonder that why have I colored or why have I used a red sketch pen for a vein and a blue sketch pen for an artery. It is because this is pulmonary vein which basically carries your oxygenated blood from the lungs towards the heart, isn't it? And if we talk about the right pulmonary artery or the left pulmonary artery, these basically carry deoxygenated blood from the right ventricle to the lungs for oxygenation. So it depends upon oxygenation, not upon artery or vein. Okay, that is why here veins have been colored red and arteries have been colored blue. So do not be confused. Now you might be wondering, what is this extended structure? Okay, this is known as the pulmonary ligament. Okay, it basically extends like the sleeve of a shirt. The function of the pulmonary ligament is to provide dead space. Okay, because in case of excessive or increased venous return, the veins have to dilate. Okay, and because of that, excess space is required. In some cases, no. So that is why a dead space is provided by the pulmonary ligament in such situations. It is the only function of pulmonary ligament. Finally, if I talk about the relations of the root of lung, superiorly the root of lungs is related to the azygos vein in the right lung and arch of aorta in the left lung. We have already seen it in the previous video where we were talking about the medial surface of the lung. The azygos vein was forming an arch over the hila of the right lung, whereas the arch of aorta was forming an impression over the hila of the left lung. Now if we talk about the inferior relation, we have the pulmonary ligament, as I have already told you. This is the pulmonary ligament. So it forms the inferior relationship of the hilum of the lung. Anteriorly, it is related to superior vena cava, only in case of right lung, phrenic nerve and anterior pulmonary plexus. Posteriorly, it is related to the descending thoracic aorta, esophagus, trachea, vagus nerve and posterior pulmonary plexus. All these relations can easily be memorized. Okay, only thing is you need to understand the diagram of the medial surface of the lung. You can derive all the relationship, all these relations from that diagram itself. So lastly, let us talk about something known as hilar shadow. So when you take an X-ray of this chest, the posterior anterior view, the root of each lung casts a radio opaque shadow, which is known as the hilar shadow. Okay, in the medial 1/3 of the lung field. So how is this important? In case of enlargement of bronchopulmonary lymph nodes due to any infection, there is increase in density of the hilar shadow and any pathology can be detected. So that is the importance of hilar shadow. And what are the structures basically that contribute to hilar shadow, or which basically forms hilar shadow? The structures are nothing but pulmonary vessels. Okay, these are the structures that form the hilar shadow, and in case of any enlargement of the bronchopulmonary lymph nodes due to any infection such as tuberculosis, the intensity or the density of the hilar shadow increases, and therefore you will be able to understand if there is any associated pathology. So in the end, let us discuss about the blood supply of the lungs. The lungs have got a dual blood supply. We have the bronchial artery and the pulmonary artery, which supplies the lung. So the bronchial artery supplies to the bronchial tree and the pulmonary tissue, whereas the pulmonary artery brings deoxygenated blood to the lungs. The right lung has got one bronchial artery, which is a branch of the right third posterior intercostal artery, whereas the left lung has got two bronchial arteries, both of which are branches from the descending thoracic aorta. Now, if we talk about the venous drainage, we have again the bronchial veins and the pulmonary vein. The bronchial vein drain deoxygenated blood from the bronchial tree and the pulmonary tissue. As we all know, bronchial artery was supplying to the bronchial tree and the pulmonary tissue. This drains deoxygenated blood from the bronchial tree and the pulmonary tissue. Whereas the pulmonary vein carries oxygenated blood from from the lungs towards the left atrium. Now, right bronchial vein drains into the azygos vein, whereas the left bronchial vein drains into the hemiazygos vein or into the left superior intercostal vein. Now, let us discuss about the lymphatic drainage of the lungs. The lymphatic drainage of the lungs hold a very special importance in clinical scenarios, because lung cancer is the leading cause of death among all the cancers. So therefore, understanding the arrangement of lymph nodes and lymphatic drainage will help us understanding the metastasis of the cancer, lung cancer. So in your lungs you have got two sets of lymph nodes. Okay, you have the superficial group of lymph nodes and then you have the deep group of lymph nodes. Superficial lymph nodes or the subpleural lymph nodes, basically they form a plexus under the visceral pleura, and therefore they are known as superficial lymphatic plexus. They drain the peripheral tissue of the lungs. So in the end, all the superficial lymph nodes, after forming a superficial plexus, after draining lymph from the peripheral tissues of the lung, they finally drain into the bronchopulmonary or the hilar lymph nodes. These are the lymph nodes which are located near the hilum of the lung, as we have already seen while we were discussing about the hilum. Now we have something known as deep lymphatic vessels. Okay, these lymph nodes drain the connective tissue, they drain the parenchyma, they drain the pulmonary artery, pulmonary veins, pulmonary vessels in general. So they drain into the bronchopulmonary lymph nodes finally. Like both the superficial and the deep lymph nodes drain into the bronchopulmonary or the hilar lymph nodes. From the hilar lymph nodes, as you can see, these are the hilar lymph nodes. These are the hilar lymph nodes. From the hilar lymph nodes, they drain into the superior and the inferior tracheobronchial lymph nodes. These are located superiorly and inferiorly, at the level of bifurcation of trachea. After that, these drain into the pre and the paratracheal lymph node and left and right bronchomediastinal lymph trunk. So these are the pretracheal lymph nodes and these are the paratracheal lymph. Para means located on the side. Pre means located in the located before or located in front. Finally, all the lymph from these lymph vessels drain into the right lymphatic duct is in case of right side, and thoracic duct in case of left side. Talking about the nerve supply of the lungs, we have got parasympathetic and sympathetic nerve supply. Parasympathetic is given by the vagus nerve. Vagus nerve causes bronchoconstriction, vasodilation, and increased mucus secretion, whereas sympathetic is carried out by T2 to T5 spinal segments, which causes bronchodilation, vasoconstriction, and decreased mucus secretion. So that's it in the lungs section. Thank you everybody for watching. Consider subscribing if you find the videos useful.